to save the seller on taxes because of the depreciation. So if they had a house that's, for example, they've owned it for 21 years or 27 years and they had the full depreciation and they paid $100,000 for it, their cost basis is now zero. It's no longer $100,000. And if you buy that house, even if you bought the house for $100,000, assuming they bought it for $100,000 and it never appreciated, we already know it appreciated, especially over 20-something years. If that person, when they sell you the house, are going to have to pay taxes on the entire proceeds of the house. But if you take that money and you say, listen, I'll give you $25,000 this year, I'll give you $25,000 next year, I'll give you $25,000 the third year and $25,000 the fourth year, they pay less taxes on that money. And that's a great way to negotiate seller financing. And we teach that all the time.
I just want to tell the audience that I did not fire Larry as my co-host and hire a woman. This person is Larry. He's just doesn't sound like himself. Larry is still my co-host.
That just shows you I'm such a trooper. I come in here with no voice, and I still do a radio show.
Okay. How about, well, let me just comment on the depreciation. I have always taken it from day one. The very first property I bought in 1989, I started taking it, and I never stopped, and I've done it on every property. And I don't really care about the fact that it'll be recaptured, because at the point when I sell these buildings, I'm going to have so much money that it will be a drop in the bucket as far as the cost of recapturing it. It's not a scare to me at all.
Well, that's the big thing. My accountant always says the same thing. He says that if you paid a lot of taxes this year, you made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the time I got faint when he handed me my tax bill. It was about 5 years ago. It was the highest amount of money I ever owed in taxes. He actually turns the paper and he goes, yeah, this is what you owe. I go, is that what I'm paying taxes on? And I'm thinking, yeah. He goes, no, this is what you owe. I got, wait, is that what I'm paying taxes on? He goes, no, this is what you owe. And I actually felt faint. The number was so large, it blew my mind. It's actually more money than most people make in a year was the amount of money that I was paying that year in taxes.
Well, it's just something you get used to over the years if you're going to be an entrepreneur. I mean, I haven't had a job in about 25 years, so frankly...
That's because you would never show up on time.
Okay, well... when I did have a job, I showed up on time, most of the time. But I just like doing what I want to do, which and that changes all the time. So I really don't know what I'll do in the future. But I enjoy my life, and I just don't want to work for anybody anymore.
There you go. Hey, by the way, if you guys are online, we lost the feed for a little while. So if you're back online, do me a favor, just say something in the comments box so I know that you guys could see us right and hear us well as I could speak as a woman. You know, I got the gender thing going on, right?
Well, I'd like to hear your opinions on market resilience. What do you think that's all about?
Market resilience. You know, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, actually.
Well, I guess what I mean by that is all of the benefits that you get from real estate, okay? They all, when you put them all together and think of them as, you know, the real estate market, it really is the way you have to think about it, because it's not just appreciation or cash flow or leverage or tax benefits. It's the whole package that you get. And sometimes you may not realize it in the beginning how good. Like when I know a guy who bought his first house, and when he figured out that even though he had only bought his first house for like $100,000, when he figured out that the actual mortgage payments over time would be $300,000, right? He decided to sell his house and go rent a property. Okay, not a very intelligent decision.
No, in fact, why didn't he take that math? He would have came up with worse math.
Well, so I tried to explain to him that he was making a huge mistake, but he didn't listen. And, you know, when people are dead set on making a mistake, sometimes I let them do it, you know, if they're that convinced. And but he felt like he was being ripped off. He felt like he was being conned.
Huh.
And he just didn't understand the things that you need to understand if you're going to be a real estate investor.
Yeah, and it goes back to the same thing. It goes, first of all, you deduct the interest too. So there's not, we talked about tax benefits. You can deduct the interest of your mortgage as well. In fact, that's one of the other reasons that we tell you should constantly, it's completely the opposite of Dave Ramsey advice. we're telling you should have a mortgage or a loan on your properties because you get to write that off. Even if you're not doing anything valuable with the money, well, that's not true. If you do it, you need to do something valuable with the money. But you should definitely use that money to buy another piece of real estate, another piece of real estate, another piece of real estate. Hey, Rob and John, I appreciate you guys watching, and thanks for letting us know that it's working. And Bill, we thank you again for watching. All right, cool. All right, what else we got, Phil?
How about we talk about passive investments?
Passive investments.
Do you consider real estate to be passive? Some people don't.
Yeah, some people don't. For the most part, I do. And what Phil means by that is, and this is the way I look at it, I just get a check every month from my tenants. And I get a bunch of checks. Most of them now are depositing right into my account, which is kind of neat. I don't think I've gotten a rent check. In 3 years now. I think it's all deposits now, through like apps like Venmo and Cash App. Although I don't like that as much, but that's okay. It's nice that you get the money instantly, but it's also difficult to have to go into a ledger and write them all out because they used to deposit into the account that had that house, and it was easier, but it's still not a big deal. But it's passive income. I mean, I'm getting, I think it was, at this point, it was something between $30,000 and $35,000 a month of income coming in from that various houses. And I like that. And as long as my mortgage payments and all my expenses are less than that, I make money.
Real estate is just wonderful. I am so happy that I got into this business when I did. It didn't matter where I did it. It only mattered that I started early. I bought my first house when I was 23. How old were you when you bought your first house?
I was 18. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So, by the way, if you guys want to call in, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137 if you have any questions, 855-939-1137. And, of course, if you want to find out more about learning about real estate investing, go to investorschooling.com.
So why were you buying a house at 18? Did your parents throw you out?
No, I actually, the first house I bought actually was a house that was a two-family house. So I used to be a technician at Crazy Eddie. You remember Crazy Eddie?
Sure.
So I was a technician at Crazy Eddie, and one of the technicians there was telling me, he was a lot older than I was. He probably was at least 15 years older than I was. And he was talking about how he was buying houses in Belmar, New Jersey, renting them out and making money and renovating them. So I thought, hey, I could do that. So I started looking at houses, and sure enough, one day I'm actually at the gym I live near Princeton, New Jersey, and I'm at a gym in Princeton, New Jersey. Now, at the time, we didn't have cell phones, and we didn't have all those cool devices. And you normally brought a book when you went to sit on the treadmill or a bike. So I didn't bring a book that day. So I went into the lobby, and they had the real estate books. Remember the real estate books?
Yeah, like the magazines.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, which you ended up advertising in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, that's true. Yeah, but so I start flicking through. The real estate book, and I come across this house in Easton, Pennsylvania, and it's listed for I think it was listed for $26,500. And at the time, this is like 1982 or 3 or something like that. I don't remember what it was. And it was listed for $26,500. And I go there. I meet the real estate agent there. And sure enough, she shows me that in 2 other houses, and I like the one that she showed me. And she goes, "What do you think?" I go, "I'll take it." I didn't even negotiate it because I didn't even know I can. So I said, "Fine." She goes, "I need a check for $500 earnest money deposit." And I'm working at Crazy Eddie's. I'm making $5 an hour. Now at the same time, understand that was actually above minimum wage at the time, but I'm making $5 an hour. And she goes, I need a check for $500. I go, I don't have a check for $500. I don't have $500 in my account. She goes, can you give me $100? Well, I was too embarrassed to tell her I didn't have $100 either. But I wrote her a check, and I went home and made it bad. About a month later, I closed on that house, and then I bought this book. Remember Robert Allen? Robert Allen, who wrote the book No Money Down?
I never read that book.
Okay, it was actually a pretty good book. It was, it's kind of ancient now, but it's kind of interesting because a lot of the stuff came from there. But I read this book about a month after I closed on this house, and I read how I did it. Now, the interesting part, we just talked about it. We talked about how we use credit cards. We teach people how to buy houses with credit cards. That's exactly what I did. I bought that house with credit cards, and then I'll tell you something interesting. I sold that house a year later for a 50% profit, and I still say to that day that was one of the first biggest mistake I made in real estate investing was that I sold that property too fast.
If I have any regrets in my investing career, it's always the same thing, selling buildings.
Yep.
Now, look, sometimes I had to sell buildings because I had things I needed to do. I don't even remember what most of them are at this point. But if I had kept every
Well, buying Executech Suite was a great example.
Yeah, but if I hadn't, let's just look at the first property I bought. In 1989, I bought a duplex. And that duplex was in Holmesburg, right by Father Judge High School in Philadelphia, if you're familiar with the area, which many people probably are. And over the next couple of years, I knew nothing about cycles at the time, so I didn't realize that we were at the top of the market in 1989. And then the market kind of dropped for about 5 years. And my property values had maybe dropped $15,000 on a building I only paid like $85,000 for, right? So that was a pretty big drop. And a friend of mine who at the time I considered to be more knowledgeable in real estate than I was, he advised me to walk away from the building and dump it. And I just couldn't do that. That just didn't make sense to me. I'm more of a stick it out and fight my way out of it. So I raised the rents. I fixed up the building. I worked on it every time it was vacant. I'd go in and fix it up nicer than it was before. And I kept raising the rent and sticking people in there. And by 1995, the building started to appreciate back to the levels of what I paid for it.
That's awesome, man.
So I turned it around. But my first investment was probably not a great one.
Yeah, and we've noticed through our career that everyone gets better. Well, not everyone gets better, but we learn how to do it better, and we learn how to make more money with even some houses that some people would not buy. By the way, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137, and we're going to take a break right now so I can go find a throat lozenge.
Okay, go ahead.
And we're going to take a break.
Hi, I'm Phil Falcone from InvestorSchooling.com. I'm inviting you to a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 p.m. I will teach you how to buy ugly houses and make them beautiful. As a bonus, we will also teach you stock option investing. 7 p.m. this Thursday night, 215-876-3002, InvestorSchooling.com.
Hey everybody, it's Larry Sinus from InvestorSchooling.com. You heard my partner Phil Falcone tell you why you should be there this Thursday night to learn about real estate investing and learn about stock options trading. We're telling you right now you will make more money than you've ever made in your entire life if you learn these two skills. This Thursday night at 7 o'clock, go to InvestorSchooling.com. Pull over right now, take out your phone and go to InvestorSchooling.com. RSVP right now, InvestorSchooling.com. See you Thursday.
Hi, I'm Phil Falcone from Executech Suites. We're an executive suite center in Huntington Valley on Buck Road, 67 Buck Road, Huntington Valley. I'm sure you've driven past it. We're right in between Street Road and County Line Road. We have 47 offices in the prestigious address of Huntington Valley. I have offices starting at $595 a month. You're probably wondering, Phil, what do I get for $595 a month? Let me tell you. You get an office big enough for one person. You get the furniture in that office. You get the telephone on the desk. You get the telephone numbers. You get the fax numbers. You get 2 full-time receptionists to answer the phone in the name of your company and patch the calls to you. So if your company's ABC Painting Company, hey, ABC Painting Company, how can I help you? Would you like to talk to Bob? Let me get him on the phone. You could be home sleeping on your couch and I'll patch the calls right to you. What else do we give you? We give you the conference rooms. We give you the kitchen. We give you the mailboxes, the printer, the copier, the scanner, UPS service, you name it. All of the utilities, cleaning service.
There we go. Coming back.
We give you free coffee. Get yourself to Executech Suites. Phone number is 215-942-7701. 215-942-7701. ExecutechSuites.com.
All right. Welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. And I am Larry Steinhaus. I'm here with my business partner, Phil Falcone, and I did not find a throat lodge, whatever that word is. So I'm still sitting here with my voice like this.
Hi, I'm Phil Falcone, and I'm here with Lori Steinhaus.
Look, I'm not going to do this Bruce Jenner Caitlyn thing, okay?
So, Lori, what would you say the next category is all about?
Well, hold on one second. I just want to say a couple of things. If you guys want to give us a call, 855-939-1137. Ask us any questions. Talk to us about anything that has to do with real estate or stock options or stocks or money.
Let's put another shout out for Debbie too. What can we,
sure.
Tell the story.
So we told a story earlier about somebody who works for us, and she talks about the tax lien. She talks about tax notes, and she teaches it here. And sure enough, the other day, a car ran through her house. So, and it was actually in the suburbs too. It wasn't like on a main street. It's just an oddity. Somebody was learning how to drive, and they confused the gas pedal with the brake pedal, and went through the front of the house. And it's terrible. But she needs a place to live while they renovate the house. So, if you have a place for her, she needs about 3 to 6 months time. 855-939-1137. You can call us with that. You can call us now, or you can call us, anytime during the week. 855-939-1137, and let us know if you have a place that she could stay. Her and her family can stay for about 3 to 6 months. We totally appreciate it. As fans of the show, we totally appreciate it if you guys can reach out and give her some help. All right.
So what's our next topic?
I don't know, man. What do you think?
It's number 7. We're on number 7.
Combined interest.
Yeah.
So so this is the 7 benefits of real estate investing. We talked about appreciation. We talked about cash flow. We talked about leverage. We talked about tax benefits. We talked about market resilience, passive investment, combined interest. I'm not sure I understand what you're writing there.
I know. You've only been in the business since you were 18. Why would you understand it?
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so what I mean by combined interest is more of a broader picture, okay? I'm talking about making financial freedom a reality in your life, okay?
Okay.
That's what we entrepreneurs, that's what we want to do, okay? Combined interest all together in action. So every year, what do you do with real estate? You collect cash flow, okay? Okay? Your property, most likely every year, not every year, but most likely every year, your property is going to appreciate in value. And guess who's going to be paying all that? Who's going to be paying down your property, your mortgage? Who's going to be doing that? The renters are.
Right.
You're not even paying it down, but you get 100% of the benefits of all that paid down, okay? All of these things in combination, okay, form an impressive return on your investment that outpaces all the other traditional investments, okay? That's what I mean when I say combined interest. So, what do you think of that, Larry?
I now I understand what you're trying to say. You're making me. You just threw this in here just to make it look like, like you were brilliant. All you basically did was reiterate everything you just said.
Okay, but that's my style.
So it's kind of like all of the above.
Sure. But that's the beautiful thing about real estate, okay? It kind of has a life of its own, and these things are going to happen almost automatically.
Well, you know what? We got Harry in Frankfurt. What's going on, Harry? How can we help you?
Well, I want to know what was the reaction the first time you used credit cards? How many credit cards you showed up with closing to buy a house? What the reaction of the people were when that happened?
So you don't actually go to closing with the credit cards because that actually wouldn't work, right? So I would either take cash advances, or I use those checks. The checks that they have, and I write the checks and I write it into my account, and then I take that money and then I put it and I use it for the down payment. Did that make more sense?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't actually show up at a closing with a credit card. It's not going to work.
Well, I've never tried it, but
I know people who have actually.
I would assume that it wouldn't work. Yes.
Yeah, and there's some other methods too where you can actually use you can actually use a PayPal account to take the credit card money. So you pay yourself in PayPal, and you take the money out of PayPal, and then you do that as well. These are some techniques that we teach, and you may find it interesting. Have you been to our class yet?
Yes, I have.
Awesome. I don't recognize the name, but that's cool. Come back. Are you a current student?
We will. When is your book coming out?
That's funny. I'm so glad you said that. You now I have to talk about it. So my book is called Money Hacks, and if you guys want to learn everything that we teach in investor schooling in a book form, the book is called Money Hacks, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com and you can order this book. And by the way, I said it on my other radio show the other day. I said that The book is actually tax deductible. And the funny part was my accountant was watching the show, and he calls me up while he's watching the show, and he says, yes, you're right. The book is actually tax deductible as long as you're teaching real estate in it. And we are. So you can actually do that too. So if you want to go to barnesandnoble.com, look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhaus, and you can pre-order it. You'll get it sometime in June or July. And I'm telling you right now, this was worth the wait. Absolutely worth the wait. It's everything we teach in investor schooling in written form.
Everything we teach at Investor School?
No, probably not everything. It's an overview of everything.
That would
we
be
teach.
an awfully big book.
Yeah, it would be. It's an overview of everything we teach is what it really is. It's 250 pages.
So we had a question emailed into us. Did you guys know you could email questions into us?
Can they email questions into us?
Yes, you can. The email address is info@investorschooling.com. info@investorschooling.com. So if you've got a question, you can email them in. You can also just type the questions in on Facebook Live. So our question was, should I get my real estate license?
Well, this is a question that we come across a lot. So people come here, they're like, I'm going to get my real estate license. So the first thing you need to know is, no, you do not need your real estate license to invest in real estate. But there are great advantages to having your real estate license. One of probably the biggest advantages is access to the MLS, where you'll be able to look up properties, look up the comps, look up the prices, and, of course, list your property. So let's say you buy a property. Let's say Phil buys a property, which you just did, actually. You just listed that one in Hatboro, I think it was, that you listed it on the MLS, and all the real estate agents they all work for you. And he just pays a small commission, and sure enough, they bring him all the buyers. So that's one way.
That was a wonderful deal.
Yeah, and every once in a while, it's very rare now, but every once in a while, you're also going to find something you're going to find something that will be listed on the MLS that you want to buy, and then you can get the commission too. So imagine buying a house with no money. We teach you how to buy a house with no money, and there's a 2.5% to 3% commission on, let's say, a $200,000 house, and you got $5,500 to $6,000 based on commission on that property, which is kind of neat, right? So you actually got a check, even though you bought the house for no money.
Well said, Lori.
Stop that.
So, I think that if you're going to be in this business for real, if you're going to even buy one house every 2 years, if that's all you were going to do, you could easily justify the expense that having a real estate license would cost you, depending on where you hang your license.
And how much does it cost you to get a license? To get it?
You have to pay for the MLS software.
Well, just to get the license, though, is about $500. Actually, the guy who advertises on 1210, Philadelphia Real Estate Schools, is a good friend of ours. So we'd even recommend you go to Philadelphia Real Estate Schools, and you can...
It's actually called Philadelphia Real Estate Classes.
Oh, is it called? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Classes.
Yeah, okay.
He has an office right by Academy Road exit in 95.
Yeah, and he's also doing a lot of online now because of the whole COVID thing.
Yeah, COVID. I heard of that. I heard a little bit about COVID.
Yeah, it's like one of those weird things that's going on.
Yeah. Do you have COVID?
I have no idea. I'm never going to get COVID.
Okay, so I think anybody's going to be typically, how much would it cost you? $500 to take a class to get your real estate license, and then you would have to pay for the MLS software. There's a fee for that,
right.
And you would also have to pay something to the brokerage that you hang your license at. But I know a brokerage where you get 100% commission.
Where's that?
Oh, it's called the Investor Brokerage.
Huh.
Yeah. And you just pay a small fee for any real estate deal that you do, and you basically get to keep most of all the money that you've made.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's a wonderful deal, and it is run by Lori and I.
Stop that.
and we will help you with your real estate deal. So if you became a student of investor schooling and you started to do deals the way that we teach them, and you hung your license at the investor brokerage, which is where you would get any advice needed when doing such deals, you'd be in a pretty good position to become a successful entrepreneurial real estate investor, which is a wonderful thing to be.
So another thing, too, that we teach in investor schooling, because you mentioned the word entrepreneurial, we actually teach people how to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
It's not just about real estate. It's not just about stock options. It's about teaching people how to make more money and how to leverage that money to make even more money.
Yeah, I actually do a presentation called the Entrepreneurial Mindset.
Absolutely.
Because entrepreneurs think differently, and I think it's helpful sometimes to just explain to people that this is how most entrepreneurs think. And when you understand that, maybe you'll start thinking in that manner as well.
Yeah, and one of the things that entrepreneurs think is it's a game. It's just a game. They think like it's a game. I'm just playing a game. I'm playing Monopoly for a living, for example, right?
Yeah.
You're playing Monopoly for a living. It's just a game. And, what do we need? We have enough that we have all the money we need to live, right, Phil? But we want to make more because it's fun to make more. Not because I need to spend it anywhere. It's just fun to make more.
Well, when you love what you do, you don't mind doing it. So, it's a wonderful thing. I was just talking to my young wife this morning, and I was telling her a little bit about we were discussing a little bit about retirement plans, and things how we'll be in when she ultimately gets older.
When she reaches your age?
Yeah. Yeah, and we were talking about it, and I basically said, hey, we have one building that would kick off once the mortgage was paid off. She would be collecting $9,500 a month since we wouldn't have to pay the mortgage anymore. And this is a building that she's already cutting herself a handsome salary plus extra cash flow. So I thought, well, geez, could you live off of, I don't know, theoretically $11,000 a month? I think I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Right.
So it's just a wonderful business. It's so wonderful that I can't stop even talking about it because it's just perfect.
It sounds like you might be addicted to real estate or something.
I might be. I actually wrote a book called Addicted to Real Estate.
You did?
Why I can't stop and why you should start. You can buy it on Amazon.
Are you competing with my book now?
No, I'm not trying. Your book's not even out yet, so how could I compete with a book that's not out yet?
I'm okay. I'm being funny, but all right, cool. So Bill online, he says he let his real estate license expire. How would you go about getting a relicense? You have to start all over again, Bill. I'm sorry, but you have to go back to school. You have to take the classes again. If it's more than 5 years in more than 5 years in Pennsylvania, you have to start all over again. If it's more than 2 years in New Jersey, you have to start all over again. That you let it expire. All right, where are we now?
We're finished with the script, so now we have to ad-lib the rest of the show.
I don't know if I could ad-lib for 13 minutes. Why don't we just leave early?
Okay, well, you could leave.
I don't think we can do that.
You could leave. Pedro and I can carry the show.
Really? You think so, huh?
If your voice hurts that bad.
Absolutely.
Pedro, how you doing, man? I understand.
My voice doesn't hurt. It just doesn't work.
I'm doing well.
Pedro, I understand you got a deal, a hot deal you're working on. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to buy 11 mobile homes for about $5,000 to $10,000 each in Georgia.
Just the homes?
Yeah, just the homes.
Where would you put those homes when you're...
They're already in a park and being leased.
Oh, okay. So you're getting the land under the homes, right?
The home.
What?
The mobile home.
Yeah, I know you're buying 11 mobile homes.
He's
Yes,
buying the
correct.
trailers.
Yes. Can you elaborate?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're on the air, Pedro. The only way people can hear us is if you talk. You can make faces and you can turn your head.
I don't even know if my
and
mic is
nod,
on.
but unless you're actually talking,
Yeah,
nobody can understand.
check.
Nobody can hear you or know what you're saying.
Can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay,
You weren't
okay.
saying anything.
No, I wasn't sure about his question. But anyway, it's a portfolio of 11 homes. They're each cash flowing about $200, give or take, and there's a huge opportunity to raise it to almost $500 cash flow on each one.
You bet there is.
So it's a total of $90,000 for all 11 homes, and they all have tenants in them.
Well, it sounds like an excellent deal.
I think so too.
The
problem
park
is trying to get some hard money, but I learned if I have some good collateral, I'll have no problem getting that
That's
loan.
what we taught. By the way, when you were gone, that's what we teach them. We teach them how to get. I was teaching how to get all the money you ever need for every deal, and I got into it really deep on Thursday. So it was a really good class.
Well, I'll have to watch your new class.
Yeah, cool.
The
That was right before I lost my voice, by the way.
Right. So I don't know what the market is like in Georgia too well, because I don't own a park in Georgia. However, I would tell you that in Florida, there's so many people looking to move there that I had multiple tenants in the park that I bought paying $400 a month, and those people are all gone. I've already renovated and raised significantly the rents, so the new price is now $1,220 a month.
Nice.
And I had some people be upset with me, but
You're such a mean landlord. You
learned
raise rent.
I have some people who are upset with me, but I still slept like a baby last night. I mean, I'm sorry. This is a business. And when you buy something, you have an obligation to yourself, to your peers, to your children, that your business acquisitions succeed. And you have to do the work and do what's necessary to make that happen. And I won't apologize for that. I must be successful.
You're a greedy businessman.
I hold myself to a high...
If there are any liberals listening to this show, call up and yell at Phil and say, what a greedy businessman he is.
Well, you could use the phrase greedy, or you could use the phrase...
intelligent?
Prepared to be successful. Right. That's it. I can't use the cash that I have to buy something and then not achieve success. It must be done.
But you could have taken all that money and fed the poor with it.
I could have.
Like them?
What's that?
Like the liberals?
Yeah. I always find that funny too, but now we're getting political. But I always find it funny that, they say, you should take your money and feed the poor. Well, how much money have you fed the poor with? Well, nothing. So why are you telling me to live my life? Go live your life. All right, we went back on the other side again. I must be feeling better if I'm talking about politics.
So what else you want to talk about? You got
I don't know.
anything
We got
on
some
your-
time for the stock option salting. You think we should go there?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So why you... There we go. Hold on.
Stock option sorting. Stock option sorting.
By the way, if you have never been to a class and have not seen the segment of the stock option consultant, you would absolutely love it. So come to a class this Thursday night. You can even call us if you want to, 855-939-1137, or you can go to investorschooling.com, and you can sign up for a class, and you will enjoy the stock option consultant. It's really, really funny. You get to see the stock option consultant all dressed up in his stock option consultant outfit. And I promise you, that will make you laugh. All right, so let's talk a little bit about
the stock option consultant is very funny.
It is.
He's almost as funny as the property pimp when he wears his goldfish high
Yeah,
heels.
you haven't worn your property pimp outfit in a long time.
Well, that's because I save it for Halloween.
You didn't wear it on Halloween either. All right, so while you were gone, Phil, Apple hit $3 trillion evaluation.
Yeah, I heard that.
For about a second. And then it dropped back. So it's about 10.5 points off that $3 trillion evaluation right now. I'd actually like to see it. If I can get it down into the 167 range, I think it's a great play into earnings. Meta, which is Facebook, also a great play. I like it. I picked up a little bit yesterday. I'm really looking for 325. But I'll tell you what, even at this price, I think it's a good price. It's a good play. The other day I picked it up and I sold it. I sold it in an hour. For one account, I had a 37% profit. Excuse me. One account I had a 37% profit, and the other one I had a 57% profit in an hour. That's how great that was. That was on Thursday. I made a whole bunch of money on that. It was a great play. Also, Carnival and American. I've been telling you guys, Carnival and American, Carnival Cruise Line, American Airlines, were the plays, and sure enough, they killed it this week. So I actually sold most of mine already. I had a whole bunch of contracts. I made money on all of them. I still have some, but I'm looking for a drop. I'd like to see Carnival go back to below 21. I'd like to see American go back below 19. And if it happens, I'm going to pick up some more. Coinbase. So as you know, the I don't know if you know, but the Bitcoin market, or I should say the crypto market, is crashing. Now, when the crypto market crashes, it takes companies like Coinbase down with it, which doesn't make any sense because Coinbase makes money on the sale. So if you sell your crypto or buy your crypto, they make a commission, which is fantastic, or they take a piece of it. So if it's crashing, if Bitcoin is crashing, that means Coinbase is making a lot of transactions, which would mean that the stock will definitely go up. And I like it right here, 230. I like it a lot. I actually said below 235 was a play. I like it a lot. I actually bought a bunch of the stock on Friday and sold covered calls on it. The covered calls were really expensive, so I made a bunch of money on that. I made $6,800 on the covered call alone for that. And I don't care if they take the stock away. I actually hope they take the stock away. It would be a great play. So that was interesting. And actually, if you want to learn how to do covered calls is the safest way to invest in the stock market. And we teach it all the time. Tesla's another one. Tesla hits 1,200, then it bounces back to 900, then it bounces back again, blah, blah, blah. So right now, Tesla's about 1,026. The only problem with Tesla with me is I'm a stock option trader. So my problem is it's just too expensive. And the stock options are too expensive, so I don't want to go there. But it's a neat play. Nikola is another one that I've been watching, and every time it goes below 10, it goes back to 11 or 12. I made some money on that last week as well. So Nikola, every time it goes below 10, I buy an option, maybe a 10-strike option, and you'll also make some money on that as well. Anything you want me to talk about, Phil?
Right now, I'm in CCL and AAL.
Yeah, good.
So, and I'm happy with the way they're going, and
Yeah.
I haven't sold it yet.
Okay.
I'm sticking around. I got it out until June.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so my thought is, it hits a certain price. I'm just going to get out anyway. I made a certain amount of money. I'm going to get out anyway. To me, I want to see it drop a little bit more and then buy more. Mm-hmm. But it really doesn't matter. You're right. If you want to hold on to it a little bit longer, and as long as you've done, we teach a method that you can actually chart to see if your play is going to be a good play. And we call it a very likely play. If it becomes a very likely play, and what he did was he played it very likely into June, and most likely he's going to make a lot of money on it. Actually, it'd be a great play, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you make on it as well.
Yeah, I could have sold it already at a profit a couple of times, but it was a minor profit.
Right.
And I prefer to at least get something like 25%.
Right. Then last week, if you remember, we were talking at the mastermind about Disney, and if you remember, I said that when Disney hits 158, I'm getting out. And sure enough, because I bought it too high, but I got out of Disney. I actually made about $1,000. It was a small play, but it was better than losing. I was down about 7,000 or 8,000 in that play, and then I changed my out price to 158. I got out, and I'd like to see Disney fall again, because if it does, I'm going to buy it back. I'd like to see it go below 150 again, and I'm going to jump all over it. Right now, it's at 150. It's still at 158. So that's a good play as well. Also, Boeing is a good play. Also, Boeing. Right now, which is the symbol is BA, Boeing is a great play because they're actually selling planes again, which is fantastic.
How about doing the closing for me today?
So, Phil, wait. So what happened, Phil? Did you get my COVID? Is that what happened while we were doing this? Did you get my COVID? Is that what happened? Huh? Really?
I could use a little help, that's all.
Oh, there you go. Oh, so I didn't see this. Rob asked a question online. How are you guys handling the tenants that don't pay during the COVID moratorium? I don't have time to answer that question. My apologies. I didn't see it until now. But I will tell you that I had no problems. And the reason I had no problems was because I talked to my tenants ahead of time. I found out what the situation is. And that's it. So, yeah. And Bill's saying that he wants to know if you're okay, Phil, because he's concerned about you. All right, real quick, I want to thank, of course, Jim Kelly for being our producer today. He's fantastic. And, of course, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor on our show, you can email us at info@investorschooling. Don't forget to visit investorschooling.com for your free classes Thursday night at 7, and you will learn real estate investing and stock options investing. That's investorschooling.com. And if you behave yourself, we might even invite you back to a second class, which is a mastermind.
Only if you behave yourself.
Only if you behave. There are people we have not invited back who have not behaved themselves. So we want to see you this Thursday night. We are located at 108 Corporate Drive East. And go to investorschooling.com, and you could absolutely take a free class, and you can meet us too. And if you want, this Thursday we won't shake your hand, but we'll shake your hand other times. So thanks a lot, everybody, and we will talk to you next week. I don't know at 2 or 10, but we'll talk to you next week.